Going down to the house of sausage. I got my barbecue shoes on. Going down to the house of sausage. I got my barbecue shoes on. Gonna put me a brat in a red.
Welcome to the BBQPitBoys.com. Today we're going to do some stuffed pork spare ribs on the grill. All right, this is real easy to do. Here I've got 2 racks of pork spare ribs. They weigh about 4 pounds apiece. And if you've never had stuffed pork spare ribs off the grill before, well, you got to check this out. This is real easy to do, as I said, and it tastes real good. Now, first thing we got to do is prep these racks, and you do that by removing the connective tissue and the excess fat. And that's, you can see here, that's pretty easy to do. Now, if you can check out some of our other videos that show you in more detail how this is done. You basically want to get a lot of that excess fat off of there. Now, these ribs, of course, are not going to be low and slow, but they're just as good, as you'll see as we put this here together. Now, to make these ribs real tender, of course, you want to remove the back membrane, and that's pretty easy to do. Again, you can check out one of our other videos that shows you a little more detail how you can do that, but you basically want to score it with a knife and a membrane and start pulling it off, and use some paper towel to help you do it. All right, that was pretty easy to do. Now, here I've got some rub, and this is basic pepper rub with some garlic and large granulated salt, like a kosher salt or sea salt. And you want to coat these ribs pretty good. Now, of course, you can use your own special seasoning on this, get creative. But you got to check this out. This works real good on this recipe. All right, we're going to let these ribs sit for a little bit. Let's make the stuffing. Now, here I've got about 8 to 10 cups of fresh breadcrumb. These are actually a seasoned breadcrumb here. And to that, I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of diced onion. Now, of course, you can use your own favorite stuffing. There's all kinds of ways to do stuffing here, but we're gonna do this. It's more of a celery stuffing, celery and pepper rub stuffing. Goes especially good with pork. Now we're gonna add a little bit of pepper, a little pinch of salt. Give it a good mix. And here I'm going to add about a cup of diced celery, 3 or 4 stalks of celery. And celery goes good with this stuffing because it keeps a lot of moisture in that stuffing as it's doing the cooking on the grill. Don't get any easier than that. Now you give it a good mix. Now, a lot of stuffing recipes call for about a 1/4 pound of butter or a stick of butter. But you want to pass on the butter on this because the ribs have plenty of pork fat, of course. And that pork fat's going to get down in this stuffing as it cooks. So you just pass on the butter and add about a quart of chicken stock or beef stock. You want to moisten up this breadcrumb. All right. Now let's get to work on these ribs. Now here what we want to do is we want to sear both sides of these racks, just maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Now, we like to do that first because it adds that texture, that additional layer of flavor to these racks of ribs here. Here, we'll flip this over. maybe 2 or 3 minutes this side. You don't want to overcook, just a quick sear. Now while we're waiting, here I've got some chef string, and because we're going to tie up these racks once we get them stuffed, and maybe 3 or 4 pieces of chef string here. You know how to do that. All right. Now this first rack is done. We'll place it on this shallow baking pan here. And then we'll sear up both sides of the rack we'll use as the top layer of this stuffed pork spare ribs. All right, let's get the stuffing. Now we're going to take all 10 or 12 cups of this stuffing in here. We're going to load it up. There's never enough stuffing. Man, it looks good enough to eat already. We'll flip it and sear the other side. Now here's where you can get creative. You can add additional vegetables here to your stuffing. Here I've got some nice slices of onion. Put some mushrooms on there. Here I got some red bell pepper. Now, of course, this is optional, but you might want to add some of your favorite veggies there. In fact, I got a nice jalapeno here, and I'm going to throw a couple slices on there as well. Man, I'm starting to get hungry. And here I've got a fresh picked apple. I'm just going to throw some slices on there. All right, this rack is ready. Just lay it right on top. Oh yeah. Now we'll tie it up. This will help keep the whole roast together. All right, don't get any easier than that. Now here I've got some aluminum foil, and for the first hour and a half we're going to cover this with the foil. And this will allow the natural juices of those pork spare ribs to get in there and keep everything nice and moist. Again, this is not low and slow ribs, but they're going to be real good. And here I'm adding some additional moisture to the pan. Here it's a little bit of beer, but you can add some of your chicken stock. All right, now we're going to be cooking this about 300, 325 for maybe 2 or 3 hours. And this is about 1 hour into this. This is where I like to spin this pan around here, because we've got the charcoal on one side, so we really want some even cooking going on. So we just give it a good spin. Again, you want your temperatures about 300, 325 Fahrenheit. And here I'm adding some more chicken stock. Just a little bit. Keep that moisture in that stuffing. All right. Now we're going to do this about 2.5 hours. And the temperature is starting to drop, so I've got some additional charcoal heating up in that chimney there because we want to raise that temperature up a little bit. And you know how to do this. Again, that temperature was dropping down about 275 Fahrenheit, so we're going to add a little charcoal here. Bring it back up to 300, 325, and we'll control those temperatures with the vent on the grill. All right. Now here we want to remove the aluminum foil for the last hour or so. And this will add that barbecue flavor. A little bit more chicken stock here. All right. Adjust those temperatures. All right, through the miracle of time, this stuffed pork spare ribs is done. Now your times, of course, will vary. Might take yours a little bit longer, a little bit less. Depends how big your ribs are, how much stuffing you got going on, what temperatures you had. But figure 3.5 hours for these stuffed ribs. Cut those strings off. Take a look at that. Man, cut a couple ribs off right now. Man, can you smell that? It smells good. Now here I have some plate of sides here, and I think it's time to eat some of these ribs. Now that's some good eating right there. So the next time you're looking for some recipes for the barbecue, you check out BBQPitBoys.com.